in the impeachment hearings, many people commented when they saw David Schoen, Donald Trump's lawyer, defending him, when he would drink water, he would cover his head with his hand. And the question that people were asking was, did he have a nervous tic? Was there something wrong, that he was doing some irrational thing? Now, the truth is, he is a modern Orthodox Jew, an observant Jew, and he was probably mumbling very quickly a bracha, a blessing, the blessing that you make when you're going to drink water or seltzer, which is the Jewish champion drink. It's the champagne of the Jews. It's otherwise known as club soda in the rest of the country outside of New York City. But when you're going to have some water or seltzer, you say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol niyeh b'dbaro, which is a blessing that you're acknowledging and thanking God that everything came out of his existence, actually more specifically through his speech, because there's a Jewish concept that God spoke. Blessed is he who spoke, and the world came into being, the 10 utterances of creation that we see in the beginning of Genesis. But what is this thing with covering the head? You'll notice I'm wearing a kippah, but the Jewish law says that if you're not wearing a kippah, and not everyone does wear a kippah, certain very religious Sephardic Jews do not wear a kippah in public settings. It's more of an Ashkenaz thing, and it's becoming increasingly Sephardic. What they'll do is they will cover their head when they're about to make a blessing. So that's what he was doing. He was making a bracha and covering his head. The really frum people will have a kippah on, but if they don't have the kippah on, they'll cover their head with their jacket. But at least with your hand, if you can't do your jacket. And some people have commenting, well, you don't even need to make a bracha unless you're thirsty. And the truth is that that's probably a misunderstanding of the Talmud. The Talmud actually says you don't need to make a bracha unless you're thirsty. But then the Talmud analyzes that and says, like, well, what would be an example of not being thirsty? And it answers, if you're choking. In other words, you're always considered thirsty unless you're drinking for some other reason, like you're taking a medication and you have a reason, or you're trying to clear your throat. You don't literally have to be choking like that you're going to die. Like the other night, I had some popcorn and something went, I wasn't going to die, but it felt like really bad. So I was drinking water, and like just trying to like dislodge or fix maybe nothing was in the wrong place, but I just kind of had to get rid of that discomfort. Then you wouldn't have to make the bracha. But short of that, we consider you thirsty if you're drinking. Why else would you be drinking? But here's an interesting halachic question. Perhaps Marco Rubio and others, we have a speech therapist who actually taught me this trick. I don't use it, but she taught it to me. She said, if you're speaking in public and you're getting a little nervous, always have a bottle of water, and then you can, instead of just having your hands flail around, you open the bottle and you pour a little bit and you sip the water. And that way your nervous energy goes into the bottle and the water and the drinking. So what if, and they say, they make fun of Marco Rubio, that he was always sipping water all the time. It's probably a trick that he learned to deal with his nerves. And now, like, the cat's out of the bag. What if you're a lawyer and you're nervous and you're drinking more to cover up your nerves? Would you make a shahakol? Is that like you're choking, so to speak? If you want to psychoanalyze this, is he choking because he really can't do what he's doing? Or is he just thirsty and, water is water? That's for you to figure out.